Vatican may be one of the most powerful religious centers on earth, but it's also a place of great unknowns, of rumor, speculation, and doubt. Today we're taking a closer look at some of the more attention-grabbing conspiracy theories. They touch on the alleged cover-up of UFO encounters, the apparently true existence of time travel technology, and even on the idea that the Vatican holds verifiable proof as to whether God and Jesus do or don't exist. The history of the Vatican is in parts well-known, in parts incomplete, and in parts totally non-existent. What we do know is that it was officially established as an independent state in 1929 through the Lateran Treaty with the Kingdom of Italy. However, its historical and religious significance dates back to the very earliest days of Christianity. Its origins can be traced to the 1st century AD, when St. Peter, one of Jesus' 12 apostles, became a founding figure of the Catholic Church. Tradition holds that he was martyred in Rome, crucified upside down, and buried on Vatican Hill, the site where St. Peter's Basilica now stands. And so, over the centuries, this location has been a focal point for Christian pilgrimage. And eventually, the Vatican was established as the center of the Church. Of course, over the years, it has become not only a religious landmark, but also a cultural and historical treasure trove. From the awe-inspiring Sistine Chapel painted by Michelangelo to the Vatican museums housing many priceless artifacts, its rich heritage and incredible architecture attracts millions of visitors. With so many eyes constantly geared towards it, though, perhaps it's unsurprising that various fringe theories and alternate histories have also emerged. One of the most persistent conspiracy theories surrounding the Vatican revolves around UFOs, now increasingly known as UAP. The idea that the Vatican is somehow involved in covering up evidence of UFO and extraterrestrial encounters has been fueled by numerous, mostly speculative, claims and some seemingly official documents. Perhaps most notable of all, however, are the reported elongated skulls that are said to have been found in the Vatican sometime in the late 20th century. The existence of these skulls is still a hot topic for debate, but for those who think the Church knows more than it's letting on, the only reason the skulls still aren't common knowledge is because they could be seen to contradict Christian teachings. That said, in 2008, the Vatican's chief astronomer, Father José Gabriel Funes, publicly explained that the existence of extraterrestrial life does not contradict Catholic doctrine, which on the one hand could be viewed as fair comment, but on the other ignited speculation that the Vatican does know more than it's willing to reveal. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Church does maintain extensive astronomical study, including via the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, or VAT, based in Arizona. Perhaps unsurprisingly, it's then rumored that the Vatican's lenses have captured variously unexplained celestial events. Some even claim that the Vatican collaborates with world governments to keep UFO encounters under wraps. This idea came to the fore in 2023, following the whistleblower accounts in the US delivered by former serviceman David Grush. Among Grush's many claims, he mentions an alien craft once owned by the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, which the Vatican supposedly helped to smuggle out of Europe and into America for further testing. Importantly, no concrete evidence has so far emerged to confirm that the Vatican is involved in UFO cover-ups. Father Funes' 2012 statement was made in the context of theological speculation rather than it being an admission of direct knowledge about extraterrestrial life or UFO encounters. Nevertheless, rumors of UFO links inside the Holy See now refuse to disappear. The theories do get more bizarre, though, and perhaps the biggest alt claim surrounding the Vatican is that it's in possession of advanced time travel technology, with some believing that it has in fact harnessed the power of time manipulation for decades, perhaps centuries. Proponents often look toward certain religious relics and artifacts, many that are lost but are allegedly held inside the Vatican's vast collection. For instance, the fabled Holy Grail has before been linked to various time travel allegations. The claims are somewhat loose, that the Vatican is somehow using relics like the Grail to manipulate time, and possibly influence historical events or to gain insight into the future. In the case of the Grail, perhaps that is why it's never been found by anyone else, because it's imbued with the powers of time. Elsewhere, and the infamous chronovisor is probably the most well-known instrument of time travel ever to have been linked to the Vatican. Although the machine itself is now thought to have been destroyed, it's said that at one stage during the mid-20th century, the Vatican was regularly running the chronovisor, which was a kind of time viewing device that reportedly allowed users to directly witness historical events. Not reproductions of historical events, but the real thing as it happened. with the claim that the chronovisor could take you back thousands of years, and was even at one stage used to view the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Again though, with the Grail, the chronovisor, or with anything else, there is nothing by way of solid proof. And indeed, if there were, then the discovery of it would reasonably rank as one of the most significant moments in all of human history. More than just time travel and aliens, however, many have wondered exactly what the Vatican records say with regards to all of the most significant questions of religion and God. For example, although Jesus Christ is arguably the most famous person that ever lived, there's precious little in terms of written records about him. But does the Vatican have more in its vaults? Meanwhile, some theorize that the Vatican could even be hiding proof of God himself, or else materials and documents to strongly suggest that God and/or Jesus doesn't exist, and the Church knows it. As with so many conspiracy theories, this last one is based around the idea that a powerful organization, in this case the Catholic Church, would withhold key information in order to maintain authority. Religious skeptics often argue that religion itself is little more than a means to control, although naturally those who do follow a religion would counter that such skepticism is purely a lack of faith. There will no doubt always be some split opinions here, but the suggestion that the Vatican could hold in its archives anything that could clear up matters one way or another is potentially quite damning. If any type of certain knowledge either of God or against him were to be revealed, then faith in the Vatican would certainly be damaged. Specifically regarding Jesus, it's variously claimed that there could be some records attributed to the Roman Emperor Nero to suggest that he never existed either. In reality, the Vatican's position has always been based on faith rather than empirical proof. In some ways, it takes us back to Father Jose Gabriel Funes and his insistence that the potential existence of extraterrestrial life doesn't contradict Catholic doctrine. If we ever were to find aliens, then presumably the Church and God would have an explanation. If the Holy Grail does exist and is linked to time travel, or if the chronovisor did ever work, then all of those things must have been okayed and rubber-stamped by God. Similarly, if there was ever proof for or even against God, then that must have already been priced into life on Earth as well. In this way, there's arguably very little that faith in God cannot explain. But of course, that's all part of the reason why the Vatican so often seems so steeped in mystery. What's your verdict? Is there anything of note hiding inside the walls of this unique city-state? Does the Vatican still hold enough relevancy and power for it to matter? And what do you think they could ultimately be keeping there? Because between UFOs, time travel, and verifiable proof of the Almighty, that's what the Vatican could be hiding.